Hey guys, it's Anna, your master lash artist here at the Lash Supply and your host for the Lash Life. I have a very special guest here with us today. This is Mo, and she is creator of Lash Bash. She's also the owner of the salon Lash Out in Friendswood. Mo, it's so good to have you here
today. So good to see you. Sorry, my fingers are cold.
They are. Oh my God. So, Mo, God, like you are just like trending out there, girl. Like we see you everywhere.
Woohoo! I'm trying.
But you know what? We have so many beginner lash techs that are watching all the time. And you know, where you are now, I know a lot of us and a lot of lash techs can't even imagine being there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because the start sometimes is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually like to start our segment with like, how did you get there? You know what I mean? Like, tell me from the very beginning, what got you
where
into,
we got.
yes.
How we got.
Yeah, exactly. How did you get into the lash industry? Like, when did it start?
Okay. So I went to school for business.
Okay.
I had no interest in being in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
I fell into the beauty industry when I was 19 running a hair salon.
Oh, okay.
And literally went on from there to open another hair salon, to help
Wow.
another hair salon, but never did the services. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to touch people. Nope,
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good.
right.
And my mom kept going, just do it. You're in the industry. And I was like, I don't want to touch people. So at the last hair salon I was at, lashes had been becoming popular. And this was in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
So my friend and I thought, let's ask our hairdressers if they'll go take the class and we can start offering this because we think it'll be something cool. All of our hairdressers said, absolutely not. We don't want to sit behind. We don't want to sit and do
Really?
repetitive. You know,
Yeah.
hairdressers like to move and
Yeah.
talk and all
I did
the
hair
things.
a little bit,
See?
so I know what you're
It's
talking
completely
about.
different.
Yeah.
So we thought, we'll go learn. We'll take an 8-hour class and then we'll teach them.
Yeah.
Because 8 hours is totally plenty of time to learn how to do lashes, right?
Yeah.
Not.
Right.
So we came back and we tried to like tell the girls like, this is really cool. Let us teach you.
Yeah.
They still were like, no. But something in me changed.
Yeah.
I was very frustrated, number one.
Uh-huh.
Like it was the hardest thing I had ever tried.
Yeah.
Number one, I've never done services. I've always been the books, the
So
business.
like that was the first service you would even.
First service ever.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this thing is not going to beat me. Like it's something in me was like, this is hard, but no, you're stronger. You can do this.
Like it was a challenge.
It was a big challenge.
You're like, I'm gonna do
but
this.
I also was, it
Yeah.
pushed me.
Right.
And then since I had never been a service provider, I had never had that one-on-one time with a client.
Oh yeah.
I was known as the face. So I talked to everybody when they walked
Right.
in, but I never had this one-on-one time with them.
Uh-huh.
And I fell in love with that part.
Oh, I did too. I love that part.
See, it's my favorite. Getting to know
Yeah,
the customers.
me
They
too.
become family and
Yes,
friends.
they do.
And I still,
Uh-huh.
14 years
I
later,
love that
talk
part.
to those people.
Mm-hmm.
So I fell in love with that part first.
Yes.
And then the lashes, I was like, okay, you're going to figure this out because this is not going to beat you.
Yeah.
So I started dabbling in it while I was still managing. I would literally
Mhm.
take clients at 6 p.m. at night and stay till 12
Yes.
just because I wanted to do it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the first training kit I had, the glue was expired and I didn't know. It was from a brand that's no longer around, the people I trained with. And the
I
glue was
can
expired.
relate.
And I was doing free full sets after free full sets
Yeah.
because the retention wasn't holding. But me being the little old lash artist had no idea. There was no talks about your environment,
No.
your humidity.
You weren't taught that then.
There was no expiration date on the glue bottle.
I took a class in 2010 also.
See?
So I know exactly what you were
Yes.
taught.
There was, you weren't taught how to take them off.
No.
You weren't taught,
Mm-mm.
what if you get glue on you? Oh, honey, that's not coming out.
Yeah, I know.
You weren't taught those things. It was
It's
literally
crazy.
isolate, apply, and go.
Yeah,
that
it was pretty much an application
Yes.
class, and that's it.
Correct.
And it was just like, okay, I think I can
Now
do
go
this.
fly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then like my first one too, my first class, she was like, okay, so now we're gonna do lash extensions. Here's the tweezers. You're gonna pick them up and then apply them. And I was just like, you're not gonna
How?
show me?
Yes.
Like you're
exactly.
not gonna show me?
How? What do you mean apply them?
And she's like, "Ah, okay, well here, look.
Oh,
And this is how. And I was just like, Okay.
Yeah, you're like, just stick it on the lid. It's there.
Right.
That
I
was kind of
know.
ours. I mean, they really tried
Yeah.
to teach us like the logistics of it,
Yeah.
but still, you can't teach that in 8 hours. And like, you're
Mm-mm.
going over all the curriculum and then you're going over the application. And I was like,
know.
okay.
Yes.
And there was no one in the industry or community in my area that did them either. So
Me
that was
either.
another part of it.
I
There was
had no
nobody
help.
for me to reach out to.
Yeah, like nobody would be like, "Hey, girl."
Correct.
You know what
Correct. I mean, I
know.
even had clients going, and I'm not going to name the brand, but they'd be like, so this person uses this brand. It burns like you know what, but it holds. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, they would tell me, it's okay to use a brand that burns on me. And I'm like, that's not normal for your eyes to be on fire
No.
for 30 minutes after your appointment. That just
No.
doesn't sit
Exactly.
well with me. And
Exactly.
they truly didn't care. But I'm like, no, I'm a by the book person. Plus, I didn't get into the industry to hurt people,
Exactly.
make their eyes burn, damage their lashes.
Yeah.
I naturally have short lashes. So I was like, no, we're not hurting people's lashes
Right.
here. We're doing it the right way.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard when you take a class, and it's happened to me many times. When I do classes here at the Lash Supply, I have it's so like crazy how many girls are like, I took a class, but I didn't learn anything, and that's why I'm here. And I'm
Yep.
like, oh my God,
Yes.
that's
and
horrible.
your heart just goes out to them. And
because you were there once,
correct.
you know?
And it's not even me advanced. I've taken class
Yeah.
6 years into it, and I've taken classes that I didn't feel like I got anything from.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
the beginners need to know, like, it's not just them.
Mm-hmm.
And to do their research is what I always say. Like,
Yes.
really, like, if you've seen this person, they're your idol. I've taken my idols classes, and I was not blown away.
I
And I was
know.
disappointed.
I know a lot of people that lash and have lashed for years, and they're like, I took this class, and I was just like, I already know that.
Correct.
And I was just like, oh,
Why did I waste my
man.
money?
Yeah, yeah.
So I always say, reach out to students, people that you
Yeah.
have seen taking their
Yes,
classes.
absolutely.
Go, as much as we want to leave reviews for classes, a lot of times we don't because it's a class.
Right.
So I always say, go look for reviews and definitely reach out to students who have taken their
Yes,
class because they're going to be
absolutely.
honest with you.
Exactly. Exactly. But, back then it was also very different than it is now.
Oh, there was none of that.
Oh my God.
It was like, there's this one lash class and there you go.
Yeah, I don't even think I got a lot of theory on it.
Oh, same.
Like-
Same. I think my theory was as I was trying to
Yeah, like
lash.
this is the glue. That was my
Yes.
theory. This is the glue. These are the tweezers.
Go. And do you know, I was trained on X tweezers. Do you remember those tweezers?
What tweezers are those?
So X tweezers are the opposite.
Oh,
You have to squeeze to
Yes.
open them.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and it is a smart
I know,
tool
yeah.
to save your hand.
uh-huh.
And I'll tell you, I did not let go of those tweezers for 10 years.
Really?
And they probably did help my hand. But
Yeah.
people nowadays are like, what is that? And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
taught on the little
remember
trays where
those.
you pick up, the little.
The hairs with the
Yeah.
sponge?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I did that too.
Like they were not on a strip. When people came to me with
Yes.
strips, I was
Oh
like,
my
what is
God.
this strip thing you're
I
doing?
cannot express how hard that was, and I don't even know how I did it.
No, and to pick it up just right, make the lash
Yeah.
flip.
Because remember, there's a base and then it
Yep.
tapers out.
Yep.
So you have to turn it around the right
And you have to
direction.
pick it up at the right spot.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
if you didn't have the sponge, you couldn't pick it up with your
No.
tweezer because it was just like
No.
a nail trying to pick
Correct.
up a penny. you know?
Correct.
I remember that, but I was taught with two straight tweezers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was
See,
taught with
and
two straight
tweezers
tweezers.
are my enemy.
Me too. I hate them now. And I lashed that way for maybe 2 years.
Oh my goodness, bless your
And
heart.
it took me like 3 to 4 hours to do a set. In like 2-3 years, it took me almost 3 hours to do a set. But because I did not find the right tools, and I didn't know,
And
what was
nobody
out
told
there.
you there were other
Nobody
tools.
told me there were other
Same.
tools. I didn't know.
Same.
And the person that trained me, it was horrible. She kind of was like, oh, well, you know what? There's these other products that you can buy, but I didn't know she was getting commission. And so she sold me a bunch of stuff that I didn't even need.
Of course.
And I was like, where do
So
I
you
get
were
the
taken
glue from?
advantage of.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
that's
where
sad.
do I get the glue from? And she's like, oh, you can get it
Me,
from them.
right
yeah.
here.
And I'm going to get it all down for you, and I'm going to place an order for you. You just got to
I'm
pay.
helping you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it
But you're
seemed
helping
like.
her.
Yeah. My glue back then was $75. Back then.
Yep.
75.
Oh, I've paid over $100 for glue.
And I was just like, I'm charging $75.
Thank you.
I'm like, and I don't have that many clients
No.
right now.
How am I going to pay for this?
Yeah. So if I bought the adhesive, it went on that first client.
Yep.
I just made my money back. That's it.
That's it.
I'm no profit.
And then you didn't have many clients. So you're
No.
like, oh.
When I first started, I had like 3 clients a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, and then if I didn't have enough clients, I was like, did my glue go bad? Oh my God, I'm going to have to purchase it again.
Yes,
It was
that's a
such
big fear too.
struggle.
Yes.
It was such a struggle. And then lash trays came in and I was just like blown away. Like, what?
Me too. I was like, are you? It took me a minute to hop
Yeah,
on. I was
me
like,
too.
are you sure? Are
Yeah.
you sure? Like
Yes.
My girls I would buy the lash trays for my girls and
Yeah.
I would still use the pots with the little, because it was just my natural,
Yes.
was what I was
I don't
taught.
know why.
And they would look at me like, Mo, this is so much simpler. Like
Yes.
they put it on the back of their hand or put it on a tile. And I was like, no, you're messing up my rhythm. I can't do
I
that.
know.
But then once I switched, I was like, whoa.
Yes. Oh my God. It was just like, what was I doing?
Yes.
You know
what was I
mean?
thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would they train us like this?
And that was also me with the straight tweezers.
Oh, yes.
When I started buying new tweezers, I don't even remember where I bought some, but I bought like one new tweezer and that one was too curved. And I
Yes.
was just like, that's too
That's
curved. I
not
can't
working.
work with it. Yeah.
Yep.
I just switched so many times until I found the ones.
The one.
And then I was just like, what? I cannot lash for the life of me with 2 straight tweezers
No.
anymore. I can't go
No,
back.
No. And that's what
can't go
new
back.
lash artists need to know as well. It's like, yes, you take that first course and you're going to be given these tweezers, but that, like you and me, we thought, well, I was trained on these. This is what I stick with.
Yes.
Hence me sticking with X tweezers for 10 years.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's okay to, if you can't use that tweezer that they're giving you, because like I've taken
Yeah.
trainings for mega volume.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these tweezers are not my friend. And
No.
thankfully, my trainer was like, that's okay. Let me give you some other ones to try. Like a
Yes.
good teacher, trainer class will have a
Yes.
variety of tweezers
Right.
for you to try, because tweezers aren't a one size fit all.
You can't make somebody fan with some tweezers that are not working for them.
Correct.
And that is so hard.
Correct.
And I've given classes where they're like, I think it's my tweezers. And I'm like, here you go. Here's some
Let's try
here's some
something
fiber
different.
tips.
Yes,
You can't
yes.
go wrong.
Let's
You
try
can't go wrong.
something different. Yes.
Yeah. And they're like,
yes.
oh, yeah, I like these, you know?
Mhm.
But so you started lashing,
Mhm.
right? Tell me about your first couple of client experiences. So now you have
sure
clients.
You want to know about that? Luckily, I was in a hair salon. Like I said, I
Uh-huh.
was running a hair salon. So it was really easy, thankfully, for
Uh-huh.
me to get clients because I was already the face of the salon I was at.
Yeah.
So when I was like, guess what I'm doing? They already trusted me as the
Yeah,
face.
that's true.
And I was like, I need clients. Come on, anybody? So I was
Yeah.
lucky and blessed in that sense that clients who were hair salon, hair clients were trusting me already.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I said, my glue was expired. So I was constantly doing free full sets. And I'm sure a
Yeah.
few of them were like, this girl don't know what she's doing and left me, which everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. And I don't
Yes,
blame
yes.
them. Nobody has 3 hours because first sets were 3 hours for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, pictures will show up of like my first lash clients and I'm like, oh,
I know.
oh. But yet those clients will still reach out to me and be like, I miss you. I miss my lashes. And I'm like, girlfriend, I did your lashes.
Yes,
Well, I got
know.
10 on each eye and you were proud of that?
I know.
And they were
Yeah.
so happy. Like I did somebody's wedding and probably literally got 10 to 15 on each eye.
Yeah.
She had brought her son with her and he was that's when I didn't have boundaries.
Uh-huh.
He would shake the table. So I was like, I'm not going to get these lashes
I've
good.
been through that.
So it
Oh
was
my
15
God.
lashes on each eye, but she still talks about her wedding lashes till this
Wow.
day. And I'm like, those are
Girl.
not anything to be
Like,
proud
girl,
of.
actually.
Yes, like things got better. I
know.
promise.
You know what happened to me one time? So this was at the very beginning, the first year of me lashing.
Mhm.
I had a client. I didn't want to say no, but I had run out of glue,
Been there.
right? I didn't want to say no because I'm trying to build my
Yes,
clientele.
yes.
So you do anything to have them come in.
Yep.
Again, nobody talked to me about glue,
Nope.
right? And my glue was so thick and stringy,
Oh,
and I was just
yes.
like, it's not any good. I'm not going to do a very good
Yes.
job. And so I went out on a manhunt for glue. right? I went store to store to
Yes.
store, reading labels like, is this the glue? Is this the glue? Is this the glue? Right?
Oh my goodness.
And so then I bought the totally wrong glue, right?
no.
I didn't know about glues.
No,
So
we weren't taught.
I saw something. I saw a bunch of strip lash glue, right? That come in the little squeeze bottles.
Yes.
And I was just like,
Yes.
that must not be it. You know, it
Yeah.
must be something different.
Yes.
So I bought another strip lash glue, not knowing it was strip lash glue,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
And it came in a little bottle like
Yep.
this. And I go, it has to be this one. And I bought that one. And it was actually very easy to apply with. And I was just
Of
like,
course.
oh, very easy to apply with. So good,
I like
right?
this glue.
And the girl's like, oh, they look so good. And then the next morning, she wakes up and she goes, girl, I took a shower and I have
They're
no
gone.
lashes.
Yep, they're gone.
Because I used strip lash
Yes.
glue and I
Oh
didn't
my
know.
goodness.
And I
Yes.
just felt like such a failure then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's
And I
defeating.
started doing research online. There was not a lot of info
There
online
was
back then either.
no info.
So
None.
it's not like Google right now. You can
No.
just how to make a fan and a bunch
Correct.
of videos will pop up.
There
wasn't a
information
lot of info.
it was a gatekeep. Like everything
Yes.
was secret
Uh-huh.
and nobody shared anything.
Exactly. You had to purchase something.
Correct.
And so I don't remember the brand. They're still out there, but I don't remember their name. But I remember buying from them next. It was just a little tiny bit cheaper, not much of a difference. And I used that, but that was burning everybody up.
Yep.
It was just horrible experience.
It's hard.
I know.
Yeah. And that's when we started, there weren't a lot of brands out there.
No.
Like they were to me, there were like 2 or 3 brands.
That's
at
what I
all.
was going to say. I think there was probably like max 3 that I
Yes,
knew of.
Correct.
Maybe there were more.
And there
I
were
don't
no
know.
stores that you could run
No.
to and get it. There was no
None.
lash supply stores. There
No.
were nothing.
Mm-mm. It was so hard.
Yeah, it was very hard. I remember just like trying to do my research and finding and nothing. There was no Google. There was no
There was nothing.
information was not available. So that's the other thing for new lash artists. Like there's so much information.
So
It's like
much.
information overload in a good way.
Yes.
I love
absolutely.
that brands, trainers, regular lash artists are just laying it all out
They
on
really
the
are.
table.
Yeah.
So I always tell new lash artists as well, like when I hire a new girl, I'm like, go to YouTube, number one.
Mhm.
As much as it used to be frowned upon, you're not going to learn lashes on YouTube.
Yeah.
I agreed with that because what they were teaching on YouTube was not what we did.
Yeah, I know.
But
There
nowadays,
was a lot of misinformed.
information.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm,
big
yeah.
time. But
Exactly.
nowadays, there's a lot of legit information
There
out there
is.
on social media, on YouTube, on Google. I mean,
I
the
know.
brands now have websites with information on it. So I
Yes.
feel like now is the perfect time to get into this industry because
It is.
nobody's gatekeeping anything. Everybody's being open and transparent
Absolutely.
and honest.
But you have to be careful also
Mm-hmm.
because there are people sharing stuff that's like not true.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what? I know that online or on Instagram, just different, sites. I've seen girls wanting to share information, but unfortunately it's the wrong information.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching a video the other day where there's a girl that's trying to teach people. Well, she's doing small reels because she's trying to sell a class.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling people how to lash those top lonely lashes on the lid that are just by themselves, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, this is how you lash those singled out lashes that are just sitting on top of the lash line.
No.
And I'm just like, girl.
No, honey.
And then there's people commenting like, I want to learn, I want to learn, I want to learn. And I'm just like, oh my God, guys, you guys know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, new lash artists, please don't do that.
yes, I know. And
Yeah.
you don't want to bash anybody because
Correct.
I know that it's taken a lot of hard work for a lot of people to get where they are. But let's educate ourselves so that we're giving good information.
Yes.
We're not just selling something to put a
Correct.
little money in our pocket,
Correct.
but we're benefiting from it in a way where others are benefiting
Mhm,
from it, you
mhm.
know? And
For
so
sure.
I see videos like that and I'm just like, oh my God.
No.
And it makes you feel bad because we were kind of in that spot
Correct.
where we believed a lot of things.
We were those people. We
Yeah.
thought, oh, she must be reputable. She knows what she's talking about.
Exactly. She has all
And
these
that's,
followers.
Yes. And
you
that's
know?
the other thing. As much as there's so much free information out there, again, do your research.
Yes, absolutely.
Take the real training first and foremost
Yes.
and learn it. Like I am an advocate for buy the book. Like, you teach me exactly by the book, and that's what I will implement. My girls know that. Like, my lash artists who work for me know that I am by the book. I don't take shortcuts.
Yeah.
I don't, like, they'll send me a video and be like, Mo, look at this new technique. And I'm like, nope.
Exactly.
Nope. That's a gimmick. She's just trying to make money off you. No.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
And of course, they question me, but I'm like, you guys, Mama Mo has 14 years of experience. I promise I would not guide you in the wrong way. And they'll send me like classes that they want to take, and I'll tell them like, this one's good, this one's not. And
yeah, absolutely.
I tell them as well, like, use me. You have my expertise in all these years.
Exactly.
So like, please use me. Send me what you want.
Imagine like us back then having somebody like you were, you know what I mean?
Having somebody in their corner.
I'd be picking your brain like there's no tomorrow.
That's what I tell my girls, and they get scared to ask me questions.
I know.
I'm like,
don't be scared.
You have me. I'm at your disposal.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes you run into things where you're like, you know what? I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Good question.
When volume lashes came out, I was like, oh no, it's a fad. I was against it for 2 years. I was like, nope.
Oh, well.
I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Well, you know, I did volume lashes, kind of, right? But I put like 2 classics together.
Yep.
That was my volume. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, students ask me sometimes like, Miss, how did you, do this? And I was just like, I did it the wrong way. But...
I did too. And remember how long it took you to do that?
Oh my God. I don't even want to think about it. I'm just like, I spent so many
hours.
Yeah. Like I wasted so many hours of my life.
But it taught us and it made us better, I feel like.
It did.
I mean, if I think of all the hours I wasted too, I'm like,
yes,
no, you're better because of it.
I know. And you're so grateful for those first customers. You know what I mean? Because like you said, they're like, oh, I loved my lashes. And you're like, girl, I missed you.
I don't know what you're even the difficult customers I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I can say they taught me, they helped me learn to I didn't set boundaries for my first few years at all. I let every client walk all over me. I let every client tell me what to do. I mean,
because you have that mentality that the customer's right.
Correct.
Right. And
I had never been a service provider.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, they wear the pants. What they say goes.
Exactly.
I mean, I literally had a client tell me, it's not my job to wash my lashes. That's why I pay you.
Oh, wow.
And she would come in every 2 weeks with horribly dirty lashes. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I know.
Full set every 2 weeks, and I wouldn't charge her the full set. Yeah. I had another client who treated me like her receptionist. She literally was like, I need to train you on how to do a BlackBerry because you're not doing a very good job at answering my text messages. And I would literally do it. And she always complained that her lashes were never full because I was answering her messages all the time on her phone.
I know.
And one day I got brave and I said, you know why your lashes aren't full? Because I'm on your phone all the time. If you want fuller lashes, you need to turn off your phone.
And what did she say?
She brought me a box of chocolates the next time she came and saw me. She respected that I stood up for myself.
That's great.
Yeah. But
because not a lot of people do.
No, they don't. And I could have lost her. But at that same time, I was over it that I didn't care if I lost her. I was actually kind of hoping I would lose her. But she respected me for setting those boundaries.
Yes, they do. They do. Don't be scared to set boundaries.
No, and don't get crazy with them. When you
first
don't
get
start,
crazy
don't get crazy with them.
No.
But also know like your time is valuable. Don't let people take advantage of you.
Yes.
There's a professional way to set boundaries.
Exactly.
I see some lash artists being crazy with their boundaries and
that's true.
Going on social media and blasting them, and I'm like, this is not
blasting
going
their
to
customers.
this is not going to get you
like
clients,
for those of you who are 1 minute late, you're wasting my time, and I'm just like,
and I'm
Jesus,
charging you $25 and
I'm like, Jesus,
you're not going to build a clientele.
You know, I even had this only happened to me one time, and this happened to me only like 2-3 years ago. I only had one customer walk out and not pay, and everybody was like, blast her on social media, and I'm like, no,
it's not professional.
I'm not going to. I go, she's just cut from ever booking with me ever again, and she tried to book with me again.
See,
and I was just like, no, I'm sorry, I don't work that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You pay what you missed last time,
exactly,
and then pay again.
Well, she paid.
Good.
Like a week later.
See?
But I'm just like, and then when she paid, she asked for another appointment. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I don't work that way.
We don't have time to hound you to pay your payment.
Yeah. When I provide you with a service, I expect to get paid for that service.
You don't go to Target and not pay for your groceries.
You don't pay for it a week later.
Exactly.
I'm like, hey, I'm going to take it right now and I'm going to pay for it a week later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was me even realizing that I needed to set my boundaries a little bit more because I was still being very
Generous.
yeah, and like, no, it's okay, girl.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can pay
Yeah.
me as soon as you get into your car.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And I was just like, no, I need to like, okay, expect payment
Put your
right
foot
now.
down.
Yep. And you know, I have customers now that I am so cool with. You know, you get so cool with some customers.
Yes.
And people go through things. And I've had a customer to tell me, hey, girl, do you think that I can pay you on Thursday? I'm really going through a tough time.
That's respectful to say, like, beforehand. Not when you get there.
Yeah. And I'm like, absolutely, yes. You've been coming to me for years. Correct. Why wouldn't I?
Yes.
You know?
I had a client do that to me. Her husband lost his job, and I was doing her lashes, and she was scrambling. She was going to scramble. She was like, no, I have quarters over here. I mean, like, she was going to do what she had to do to pay me.
Yeah.
And she told me this as she laid down, and I was like, you've been coming to me for 5 years.
Like, girl.
This one's on me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. It's a relationship.
Right.
Like, yes, they're here to pay our bills, but also they're humans too.
Yes.
And if they're not taking advantage of you, why wouldn't you be a kind human back?
Some situations are temporary, and we need to be understanding of those.
Correct.
And that's how you can build your clientele, because people then are like, oh my God, she's so amazing. Like, if I ever go through anything again, she's going to be there for me, not just as my lash artist.
As a friend.
Yeah, but as a friend.
Yeah.
So when did you start Lash Out?
I opened Lash Out in 2012, and I had left the hair salon that I was at, and I was like, I'm done managing people. I want to be by myself, and I'm going to have a little suite, and it's just going to be me and my clients. And I loved it. Loved it. Within 3 months, I was booked solid.
Oh, gosh.
And I was getting yelled at on the phone by people who couldn't get in with me. There was a lady who called and was like, what kind of business is this? What kind of business are you running that it takes 2 months to get in with you? And I was like, ma'am, I'm only one person. I don't, like, it's just me. And she goes, I'm going to go leave you a review. This is horrible. And I just broke down crying because I was like, I was working 7 days a week, 13-hour days. When you first go out on your own, you're ready to hustle and hit the ground running.
You work
and I loved it.
and hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because new lash artists are like, I'm going to work from 10 to 1 and that's it.
I know.
You're not going to build your clientele.
You're not.
I'm very much a believer in you have to be available.
Yes.
I also agree, don't burn yourself out.
Yes.
But you have to be available to build that clientele.
I think at the very beginning, unfortunately, you're going to feel the burnout.
Correct. No matter
because
what.
you're building that clientele. And I'm exactly, agreeing with where you're at about you can't set those hours.
No.
You need to take them as they come in.
Yes, because those are the people who are going to feed you down the road. Those are the people who are going to pay your bills down the road.
Absolutely.
And I knew that because I had already been in the hair industry. So I already knew, like, you be available. You get who you need in. So after 3 months, I was booked solid. I had that horror story of the lady calling me, and I was really upset. And I went home crying, and my husband was like, it's okay, And I posted on Facebook, like, I can't believe this happened. I'm really butthurt about it. This lady's going to leave me a bad review. And somebody commented and they're like, it's time to expand. And I was like, ew, no. I just got away from managing people. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then more people were like, it's time to expand.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I had been in a salon suites and I had 4 girls who came to me and they were like, if you expand, we want to come work for you. So I didn't even have to hire people. I was like, okay, sure. And my husband was gung-ho about it. He knew and he saw it before I did.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they do.
They do. And I was like, no. Like, I was fighting it because I had a year lease where I was at. So I had, 9 months left. And he was like, we're going to start looking. And he would constantly drive me around our city looking for locations. And I'd be like, nope, that one's not cute. Nope. I kept fighting it. And then we got married in one of the parks in our cities. And there was this big blue house in the park. It was the only house in the park. And I always knew if I expanded, I wanted something warm and cozy. And I loved the park. And one day a sign popped up and it was for lease. And he was like, we're going. And I was like, no, it's okay. I can't. That's a big house. It was like 3,200 square feet. And he was like, we're going. And he set it up. And we walked in and we met the guy who owned it. And he was he was insurance. And he was like, I have been looking for somebody for 2 years to rent this place out.
Gosh.
And there is something about you that I'm willing to work with. Because I was like, I can't afford this. It's so big. No.
Yeah.
And he was like, I see something in you, and I think
Oh
this is
my
the right place for
God.
you. And so I was like, okay. And my husband's like pushing me off the ledge, and I'm like,
on.
no, I'm not going. And literally a year later, I opened up with already 4 employees.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, it was good.
When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I feel like you're like divinely connected to people and places when it's meant to be.
Oh, he's moving. He's
Yeah.
like, you're going whether you
You're
want
gonna
to
go.
or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not going.
Yes.
But yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
a year after being on my own, I opened my own and expanded and had 4 girls. And then I remember thinking, like, my vision was I want to be the first lash studio in Friendswood, Texas.
And that was the first one in Friendswood.
And
wow,
it was.
That's amazing.
But then it turned into a full salon. I ended up growing, and I
Yeah.
had my lash studio, and then I had 2 hairdressers who wanted to rent for me, and then I had a masseuse, and then I had an
Yeah.
esthetician.
That's awesome.
And I was like, babe, this isn't what I didn't want a full
I
salon. And
know.
he goes, he's giving you more and you're complaining?
Yeah,
And I was like,
know.
Oh, I didn't see it. Like, he goes, you're still the first lash studio in Friendswood, but now you're bigger and you're upset?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
I know.
Crazy.
Sometimes when you have those blessings and they're so overwhelming,
Mhm.
and you're so busy with clients, it's so easy to just complain about it.
Yes.
But then you're just like, you know what? I need to take a step back and be like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is where I wanted to be
Correct.
years ago.
Correct.
You know?
And
we
I
have
had
to
no
reflect.
idea. Yes.
Mhm.
And even with being new, and I'm a big believer in God sends you the right people who are supposed to be in your
Yes,
life.
I
Even the
am a big
ones who
believer
were
in that too.
difficult
Yes.
and had to teach me lessons.
Absolutely. I believe in that too.
I firmly believe that God will send me the right clients, the right people I need,
Yes.
and he does.
Yeah.
And you just have to be, even if they're difficult, you have to be thankful. Even if you know they're going to be difficult. See, that was my thing. I didn't pay attention to red flags. I would get phone calls when I first started. So this salon down the street offers $50 full sets. Will you do it? And I was so hungry. Sure. Well, that should have been my red flag. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. My price is this.
Yeah, I know what you
But
mean.
it's a lesson, and I learned.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to go through that lesson as well.
And
I
we
think
all do.
Yeah, I think a lot of lash artists go through
All
that.
of us.
You want to be so competitive because
Correct.
you're hungry, like you said,
Yes.
that you end up lowering your prices, but you're not valuing your work or yourself.
And they're not valuable. And that lady never valued me from the beginning.
And you're going to attract a lot of people that don't value
Correct.
you. You're
Correct.
just a price.
Yes.
$45,
Yep.
$55.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. I don't care how she does it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I just want her
Correct.
to do my lashes.
Yep.
They don't know that you provide quality work. They
Mhm.
don't know that you
You
did
use
all of
quality
this.
products. You
Yes.
did trainings. You did
Exactly.
your work to get
Mhm.
here.
And I don't want to attract that type of client.
No.
And you guys out there shouldn't either.
No.
Because
You attract what you put out. So if you put out
Exactly.
complaints about a client and a client likes that and starts coming to you because she saw it, that's what you're going to attract.
Exactly. And I just like attracting my tribe.
Yes, your people.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't it feel good
It does.
that every single one of your customers you feel comfortable with?
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
attract your tribe.
You do.
And that's just amazing. And if you are constantly trying to just get clients in for $45, $55,
Those aren't your people.
those aren't your people. And you're going to see them go like this as soon as you raise
Really
your
fast.
prices.
Really fast.
Really fast.
And they're just not, they're going to lack respect.
Yeah.
They're going to not appreciate your time. They're, it's all of it.
They're going to bring the kids that shake your car. I had one of those in my studio one time. I was lashing his mom. His mom's like, I'm sorry, I had to bring him. And I was just like, I didn't have boundaries. I was just like, okay, it's fine.
Mhm.
And he starts looking at me and he's like grabbing stuff from my lash cart. And he knows he's doing bad. And he's like,
oh, and he's watching you like, look what I'm
And then he's
doing.
like-
Mommy can't see me right
Yeah.
now.
and I'm just like, like I just want to strangle him. And it's like my really good tweezers. And I'm,
Yes, you're like, don't drop
and I'm trying to grab them
those."
from him. But he like runs away. And I'm just like,
Oh,
and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I can't lash
oh
because
the
I'm watching
anxiety.
them. Yes.
Like I feel
know.
it right now. I'm like, oh.
Exactly. But okay, so you're how many years into Lash Out now at this time?
Lash Out is 11 and a half years
Wow,
now.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
That not only is it the first lash studio in Friendswood,
Mhm.
but it's been open that long.
It has, which is crazy. And there have been so many times that I did not think we were going to continue. I mean,
I know.
we went through a flood,
Yeah.
lost the salon, the house that I just talked about. We
Oh,
lost the house. It got
no.
5 feet of water, lost my home, lost my vehicles. So I was like, okay, God, we're done. And
I
then
know.
literally the day after the flood, as the salon sat underwater, the phone was ringing for lashes. And I'm like, are you people not underwater? Because we're underwater.
Right?
But it was like,
crazy.
okay, people are still calling. And then it just continued. And I mean, I'm in my 3rd location now. And
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm a person of habit. Like a creature of habit. I like my place.
Yeah.
But a hurricane took me out. So I had to move.
Yeah.
Where I moved to, they were expanding, we were expanding. So I had to move. So now we're in a new place. It's great. It's 3,000
I've been seeing
square
it.
feet.
I've been seeing it on Instagram. And it's amazing. I love all the colors.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is your Instagram?
The salon one
Yes.
is Lash Out TX.
Is that the one that you're posting all the changes to your salon?
mhm.
You guys need to follow that. It's amazing. I love watching all the
It's fun.
Yeah, it's like watching HGTV.
Yes. I'm like, guys, help me. What color? This color, that color.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
the 2 salons before, they were very neutral, aesthetic, very calm. And
Yeah.
that's not me. I love color. I like being
I
bold.
know.
And for this one, I was like, you're doing you.
Yes.
And everybody was like,
absolutely.
why are you muting yourself? Go be
Yeah.
you. And so I went with some
Well,
crazy wallpapers.
It's looking amazing.
Thank
I
you.
like it. Like
It's fun.
I'm just like looking to see what else you're doing.
I know. And I'm like, help me pick this color. Help me
So
pick that.
if you're wondering if people are watching, girl, we're watching.
Yay!
So then when did Lash Bash start?
So Lash Bash started in 2021, and it started here in Friendswood, Houston.
Yeah.
And it was something I thought was just going to be a once-a-year thing.
Uh-huh. Like one venue, one location, once a year, that's it.
And it was right after COVID, the horrible word. And we were all stuck at home. And I was like, oh, we need to see people. We need and I know as a beginner lash artist, I needed those connections.
Yeah.
They weren't there. So my friend and I actually started it together, and we thought, nobody's going to come to this. And it was free.
Uh-huh.
And it was at a restaurant that my client owned. She was struggling from COVID as well.
Uh-huh.
And so
what
I was
area
like,
was this?
in Friendswood.
In Friendswood, okay.
And I was like, in doing this, I want to help other local community, like not just lash artists. So let me figure out where my things align. Like the photographer was from Friendswood. The restaurant was in Friendswood. And we thought, okay, we'll do this for free, and we'll just only open it up for 35 people. And we turned on the VIP list to sign up, or the RSVP list, and within 12 hours, all 35 spots were filled. And we were like,
what?
this is not real.
Was it just lash artists?
It was just lash artists from Houston.
That's amazing.
And then my friend and I had been in the industry that we had connections with like big people in the industry. So we kind of started reaching out to them going, hey, we want to start this thing where we really support the community here. Would you like to come? And magically, these people said yes.
Wow.
And so we had like 5 really big people in the industry come as special guests.
Yeah.
And we were able to spoil the girls and just connect and talk and eat. And the next day after that Lash Bash, somebody in Utah reached out to me and was like, how do I get you to come here?
Wow.
And I was
so
like,
cool.
is she serious? This is for real. This is just going to be a yearly thing where we just have fun together.
Yeah.
It'll be free. And it just turned into so much more than I ever expected. I truly thought I was going to be in Houston doing this once a year. And now I have gone to 2 different countries.
Wow,
I have gone to all kinds of states.
Yeah.
And it just...
You're everywhere.
Everywhere. And it just blew up.
So for our viewers, tell them a little bit what it is. Yeah.
So Lash Bash is strictly a networking and socializing party. I know people are like, well, why don't you have speakers? Why don't you have a conference? That there are so many good people who already do that, that I was like, I love learning, yes, but my favorite part is the people.
Yeah.
As you can tell, when I fell in love with the service part, it's the people, the connections. And I just like making connections with people. I like having the talks. I like just getting to know you, and then add a bonus of a special guest.
Yeah.
And that new artist who's been following that Lash Idol can actually meet them.
Yes.
And in talking to my special guests, they're like, wait, you don't want me to give a speech? You want me to just hang out and be a lash artist? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, like they fell in love with it because they're like, I don't have to give a speech. I don't have to prepare a speech. I actually get to be with the people.
Yeah.
So it works both ways.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Like just mingling with people.
It's just mingling and making your tribe, finding your tribe.
Yes, exactly. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So where can they purchase tickets?
So the tickets are on the lashbashofficial.com website.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I have it linked to the Lash Bash official Instagram. Had to think
Yes.
about it.
When's your next 2 Lash Bash events?
So the next one is San Antonio on February 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Had to think about that too. And then the one after that will be in Atlanta, Georgia on April 21st.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You're just going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
Weren't you in Hawaii?
Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes,
I want to go to that one next.
I know that. I was talking to my other friend and she's like, so can we do Hawaii again? And I was like, I want to.
Yeah.
But like my goal is to truly make it to every state. I
That's
didn't
so
know
cool.
that was my goal. I literally, like
But now
I said,
it is.
it's now my goal. I wanted to make it to every state
Yeah.
and more countries.
That's so amazing. I am looking forward to attend one of those soon. Like I really want to go just because I feel like attending an event like that where you're not just sitting and learning, that's awesome too. But just like you said, finding your tribe and you just connect with so many people because even at home when you talk to someone about your industry, they're like,
they don't get it.
Oh.
And even on Instagram, talking with another person on Instagram, it's great. But that in person is
that in person is
times better.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just, my favorite part is after Lash Bash, I'll see people tagging each other and they're like, met my Lash bestie.
Yes, I've
Lash
seen
bestie
that.
at Lash Bash.
Like,
and then they start,
so good to them, you
and
know?
then they start creating their own.
Yes.
Like I've seen people start a monthly where they meet up with their Lash Bash friends to continue it. And I'm like,
so
this
cool.
is what it's about.
Yeah.
Find your people and keep going.
Yes. I think that it's a great idea, the whole concept, everything. I think that's so cool. Like just to hang out with people.
It is.
Because, you know, a lot of the times I tell new lash artists, if you're hanging around with people that don't have the same goals as you,
you won't go.
You won't go.
And that's what I was just about to touch on. You never know what comes from going to a lash event, whether it's a Lash Bash or anything. People don't believe me, but it can elevate your career.
It can.
I've seen people come together and create trainings. I've seen people come together and like this lash artist came and this brand was here and now they collaborate and they've gone to work for that brand. Like,
isn't it crazy?
It can take your career to a level you never expected.
That is so amazing. What other events will you be at soon?
So let's see. In March, I'll be speaking at the International Lash Expo in Arizona.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm. And then I will be at Lash Boss Summit in Austin.
I'll be there too.
Yay. And then there's a New York one coming up called The Course. I'll be at that one.
You need to send me the info on that.
Yes, I will. And then the next one after that I know of is LashCon in October.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Maybe.
It'll come to me.
Like maybe. But anyway, Mo, oh my God, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for
your
having
journey
me.
is amazing.
Thank you.
I think that a lot of people can relate. And if you're doubting yourself right now, come on, guys. You know what I mean? You never know what can happen.
Yes.
Mo wasn't even in the beauty industry that way.
No, and didn't want to be.
She didn't want to be. And I think it happens by accident. It happened for me too, kind of like that. But I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for, the advice, for letting us know about Lash Bash, because I think that's a huge one for you guys to connect at.
Yes.
Because especially if you're starting out being there, it's just going to
it sends you on a whole other level.
Yes.
And you leave so on fire. I don't know how to explain it, but you leave on a high.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Very quick, Mo, before we go, let's talk about Lash Artist Give Back. You mentioned that.
Yes.
What is it?
So it is, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. See, I just lost train of thought. My friend Katie and I started this. It's our new venture. It's our new baby. It is where we go and we give back to the lash community. So if there is a lash artist struggling financially, somebody who's gone through a catastrophe, like I went through a hurricane. Somebody, there was somebody we know who went through a fire and she lost her whole salon, a leak, a flood. You never know what can happen.
I can't imagine that.
So
one, go.
Hey guys, it's Anna, your master lash artist here at the Lash Supply and your host for the Lash Life.
Filling,
Yes.
the girl had gone through domestic abuse and she's trying to get back on her feet.
Oh.
So we just want to give back to the community. We want to love on lash artists who are struggling. We get it. We know their hearts. We know how hard it is to even get started as a new lash artist.
Absolutely. And giving back, that makes such a difference because people don't understand that a lot of us are self-made.
Correct.
And it takes us so long to get to a
there.
certain point. And then when everything is taken from you, it's like, oh my
It's starting all over. And how do you start all over?
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so like with this, we're giving back products, we're giving trainings, we're doing anything we can to help.
How can they find that?
So right now, we have an Instagram account called the Lash Artist Give Back. The name may change, but find that one first.
Yeah.
And it just, again, happened so fast. We did not expect it to happen this fast. We're creating a website. We're getting our 501c. We're working on all the things to make it legit so we can just keep going.
And I think this is probably going to be one of the first give backs in our industry.
Yeah.
That is so
For sure.
amazing.
I mean, like I see people, like when somebody, for instance, when I flooded and lost my salon in Hurricane Harvey, friends of friends were reaching out to other lash brands. And I literally had a brand from Australia send me lights, chairs, products because they heard my story.
Cool.
And I had never met them before.
Yeah.
So it's those kinds of things. Like we want to help people. There's not enough in this industry. And like me, just with the Lash Bash, like I said earlier, I may have a few bags left and I've seen people post in their stories like I'm struggling or I my whole salon flooded, and I'll just reach out to them and say, hey, can I get your address? And I'll just send them a bag because I know they lost all their products. So it's really about just helping those people who are in need right now.
Yeah, that must be so like emotional to receive that on that end.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
I can't wait for everybody to see the girl.
God.
Our first person, like it was so, when we gave her all the stuff and introduced who we were because we surprised her, she was shaking so bad and crying so hard. And I was like,
I would have been crying.
Well, usually I'm a crier, but I think because I was in front of people, I wasn't. But I was shaking. And I was like, why am I shaking? But I was feeling her energy. And she was shaking so bad. And just, it's just so sweet. And
I bet you that's an amazing feeling.
It is, I've been blessed to have people pour into me, so I really want to help other people.
And I think because you go through some of those catastrophes and those setbacks, that you know how that feels.
Correct.
So it makes you want to help more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's such an amazing thing that you have going on. I think that it's going to help so many lash artists out there.
I think so too.
Some of them just quit because they just have those setbacks.
Exactly.
And that's just going to be so amazing. That is so cool.
Thank you.
That's something that I think the Lash Supply would want to join forces.
I would love that.
With you.
Love that.
Our sponsor is just so generous as well. And I think that making a difference in those lash artists' lives would be something that, oh my God.
Yes.
I would love to be part of that.
Absolutely.
Would
so love to have
maybe
y'all.
we can get together on that soon.
For sure.
Yeah.
We already have our next one coming up, so I'll talk with you guys about it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mo, for being on the show. This was so amazing. So much information, so many adventures that you guys can go on as a lash artist. I know there wasn't a lot out there before, but there's so many things that you can do now to kind of make your dreams reality. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate everything. And of course, thank you so much to our sponsor, the Lash Supply. Don't forget to ring that bell, give us a like, and follow us for the next episode. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.